Hey gang, it's me, Dr. Steve, coming to you once again from Irving, Texas. I'll be back in the studio tomorrow, but I wanted to comment on an astonishing speech, really an epoch-shaping speech that was just made by Russian President Vladimir Putin. He spoke to the plenary session of the 20th meeting of the Valdai International Discussion Club in Sochi, and he delivered what was really nothing short of a masterclass on the tectonic and irreversible shifts taking place in the global order. It was, in many respects, a manifesto of what's increasingly being called a civilizational world order, where international order is increasingly moving away from a globalist structure that centers on a single managerial power, namely the United States, and it's instead recalibrating itself around the resuscitation and renewal of what are called civilization states. And civilization states are, in effect, worlds within the world. These are nations that are redrawing their boundaries around ancient civilizational spheres, such that the basic organizing principle for the whole of society is culture rather than politics. Linked to a civilization, the state has the paramount task of protecting a specific cultural tradition. And in each case, the goal is not world revolution or imperial world conquest, but rather staking out a particular sphere of civilizational self-containment, a full unification of a people's unique history, culture, and spiritual space. Here's Putin describing Russia explicitly as a civilization state.
Our country is characterized as a distinctive state civilization. This formulation accurately and succinctly reflects how we understand not only our own development, it reflects the basic principles of the world order, for the victory of which we hope.
So what Putin just said there is so key to understanding so much of what's happening in our world. It's been going on for about a decade now, starting around 2012, around the time of his third campaign for the presidential office. Putin's speeches took a very noticeable and stark civilizational turn. Gone were any references to joining up with the West and finding Russia's place in an increasingly globalized world. That's the way Putin used to talk. Instead, Putin's meta themes became one involving Russia finding itself in a great civilizational struggle, a struggle with a decadent, decaying, and dying West. And as such, it was imperative for Russia to revive her ancient customs and traditions that have guided the Russian people for 1,000 years and promised to do for the next 1,000. But what's so key here is that the civilization state isn't simply an inward development, a development happening within a nation. It's an outward development in that as more and more nations experience civilizational renewal, it's redefining the world order like never before. And that is the most momentous development of them all. This is going to absolutely amaze you. But first, gang, how many UFC fans do we have out there? We know the one and only Donald Trump is a huge UFC fan, as are the fighters of him. But have you ever wondered what they do to manage their pain? Well, you don't have to, because a fellow patriot and good friend of this channel is precisely the one who provides relief to that pain, and he's here to do the same for you. Now, we all know that as we age, aches and pains are normal, but they don't have to be. And that's where the groundbreaking medical scientist Clint Winters comes in. So you've seen Clint on Fox, you've seen him here on this channel several times. He's a good friend to our channel. He's a world-renowned health expert who's unveiled a natural pain reliever that's taking the world by storm. It's called CB2. It's the 100% drug-free way to get full-body pain relief, but here's the key, without dangerous meds. And it is the official pain reliever for the fighters in the UFC. And the best part, gang, CB2 has no documented side effects after years of private testing. It's absolutely the future of pain relief. So whatever you do, make sure to click on that link below right now and check out Clint's amazingly informative report on how CB2 is changing lives by providing safe and powerful relief at a fraction of the cost of pain pills. Click on that link below right now. Civilization states are quite literally restructuring the entire world. Russia, China, India, Iran, Saudi Arabia, Israel, Turkey, the coups in Africa. They're all ultimately about returning to their ancient religious civilizations And as we saw in the recent BRICS summit, they're forging bilateral trade relations so as to reconfigure the political and economic order around these civilizationalist sentiments. Putin laid out 6 principles that he sees governing this new civilizational world order.
First, we want to live in an open, interconnected world in which no one will ever try to erect artificial barriers to people's communication, creative fulfillment, and prosperity. There should be a barrier-free environment. That's what we should strive for. Second, we want the diversity of the world not just to be preserved, but to be the foundation of universal development, imposing on any country or people how they should live, how they should feel, should be prohibited. Only true cultural and civilizational diversity will ensure the well-being of people and a balance of interests. Third, we are for maximum representation. No one has the right, and no one can rule the world for others, or on behalf of others. The world of the future is a world of collective decisions made at those levels at which they are most effective, and by those participants who are truly capable of making a significant contribution to resolving a specific problem. Not one person decides for everyone, and not everyone even decides about everything. But those who are directly affected by this or that issue decide. They agree on what and how to do. Fourth, we are for universal security and lasting peace, built on respect for the interests of everyone, from great and large states to small countries. The main thing is to free international relations from the bloc approach, from the legacy of the colonial era and the Cold War. We have been talking for decades about the indivisibility of security, about the fact that it is impossible to ensure the security of some at the expense of the security of others. Indeed, harmony in this area is achievable. You just need to put aside pride, arrogance, and you need to stop looking at others as second-class partners, or as outcasts or savages. Fifth, we are for justice for all. The era of exploitation of anyone, I have already said this twice, is in the past. Countries and peoples are clearly aware of their interests and capabilities, and they are ready to rely on themselves. And this increases their strength. Everyone must be provided with access to the benefits of modern development, and attempts to limit it for any country or people must be considered an act of aggression. Exactly. Sixth, we are for equality. We are for the difference in the potential of different countries. This is an absolutely objective factor, but no less objective is the fact that no one is any more ready to obey, to make their interests and needs dependent on anyone, and above all on the richer and more powerful. This is not just the natural state of the international community, it is the quintessence of the entire historical experience of mankind.
So there you have it. I mean, Putin is envisioning a world order that is no longer beholden to what's known as the liberal international order, the globalist order, where a single political, economic, and military power, again, namely the United States, basically dictates for all the world what is the only legitimate political and economic structure they're allowed to have. And those are, of course, touted as liberal democracy and corporate capitalism, free markets, when in point of fact, legitimacy is determined by how much the individual nation allows the United States to dictate its political, economic, and increasingly woke cultural policies. Putin's declaring in no uncertain terms that unipolar liberal international era is over. A new civilizational world truly has begun.
Are you ready to join the resistance? Because I'm leading a group of dedicated, courageous patriots who can lead a spearhead into the heart of the secular globalist establishment. We punished Bud Light and Target, driven CNN and the legacy media to near bankruptcy, forced BlackRock to backtrack on ESG, and now we're seeing our conservative-dominated Supreme Court ending affirmative action and protecting religious liberty. In my Insiders Club, I show you concrete steps to take locally and online that will only keep this mass uprising going until the battle is won. Don't wait. Click the link in my description below and join my Courageous Patriots Insiders Club today.